Well, would you look at this really original idea? Hey Spiff, could you do a world conquest using only nukes? I'd really not know if it's possible. What a splendid idea. I guess there's only one way to find out and make an actual video on it. Oh boy, I really hope no one makes some kind of similar-ish video which someone's going to accuse me of copying. Well, bugger me sideways of a teabag, if you just wouldn't look at this, it turns out that someone's already been doing these kinds of videos, and I'm sure I'm going to get bombarded in the comments below with people telling me that I've been stealing this idea. However, I can tell you that it's been one I've sat on for a while, but feel free to tell me in the comments about how awful and terrible I am for making this kind of video. So what are we doing here today, ladies and gents? Well, you might have guessed it, we're playing some Hearts of Iron 4, but with a slight twist. I want to see if it's actually possible to conquer the world playing as a country and using only nukes. Now, I did kind of sit here for a while wondering which country would be most relevant to take over the world with using nukes. I thought maybe America, maybe Austria because no one plays them, maybe Denmark because, you know, that's where Bacoan 1 comes from, but then I decided, no, that's where Bacoan 1 comes from. I thought Austria again, but no, I mean, you can't really border anyone with Austria. I mean, Poland would be a good laugh, but I've done too many Poland ball memes. God, if only there was a country that's really well known for starting world wars, and that's right, it's Belgium. They, of course, started World War I. Why not have them start World War II and World War III? Right, so now that we're in, it's time to set some ground rules for what we're actually going to be doing here. So, for the idea of the game, I want to be able to try and take over a country using only nukes. Now, I decided to think that maybe it's possible without a military, so I got rid of my military instantly, and I wondered if I could take out the French using only nuclear weapons. Now, it's quite a big stretch considering how large Belgium is and how technically strong the French are numerically, but I've really thought that maybe by just dropping a few nuclear bombs on them, they'd put up a white flag or something and we'd win the game. So here we go, war with the French, we can declare it, and don't worry, I've prepped some bombs to be dropped. Yeah, you can see they're dropping on the enemy units, and hopefully that means we should get them. We've got to be careful because, as I can see, they are moving into our land, and oh, crap, they've grabbed that promise there. Okay, well, we'll drop a nuke on it, and just in case, we'll drop one on Brussels as well. Now, they did take it because I did accidentally drop a nuke on Brussels. I mean, maybe I won't capitulate. Maybe this should be enough to drop them, but just to be really sure, I should check on how close I am to capitulation. Right, okay, it would appear that we're not going to survive, and we're gone. Well, bugger me sideways with a teabag, it does not appear that it is really possible to defeat the French with nukes. But don't worry, we can just drop a few more bombs on Paris, and then look, we're back on the map. Perfect, look, the French didn't even want us. Incredible. So what do we do now? Isn't it obvious? Of course we have to attack a nation without an army. It was the French army that buggered us then. So what about we just drop a load of nukes on Luxembourg? Well, let's see how many nukes it takes to defeat Luxembourg. I'm sure it won't take too many, so there's, I don't know, 4, there's 5, there's 6, there's 7, there's 8, there's 9, there's 10, there's 12, there's 13, there's 14, there's 15, there's 16, there's 17, there's 18, there's 19, there's 20, there's Luxembourg. Why are you still here, Luxembourg? Okay, so maybe nukes aren't really enough to take out a country. If that's the case, we're gonna have to try something a little more spicy. And we're back, but this time with a little bit of a difference. That's right, we're about to try and take out the Netherlands, but this time I have an army, because as we discovered with Luxembourg, you need at least a military to take a point. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to bomb the unit out of existence and then move completely uncontested into the capital. Now, does it work? Well, no, because the issue with nukes is that whilst they do damage units, they just don't seem to damage them enough. So it's going to take a bloody lot more nukes. So I'll just keep dropping them, and I'll keep dropping them, and you will notice this is sped up because, Jesus Christ, there's like 70 nukes getting dropped on the Netherlands. I mean, God, they are really resilient, those cheeky buggers. I mean, that isn't even an infantry division, and yet I can't even take it. There we go. And as soon as I grab Amsterdam, that should be the Netherlands finished. But now we need to move on to a slightly more difficult target, and that would be France. Is it possible to take France using only nuclear weapons and hopefully an uncontested army? So here we go, it's war with France and we've got loads of nukes prepared. How saying that looked a bit like a penis there. Oh well, let's just ignore that. So what I'm doing is I'm basically quickly pausing and unpausing the game as fast as I can and then dropping off one set of nukes and immediately pausing, dropping more nukes and hoping that the French army can't really mobilise in a fashion so that I can hopefully beeline one infantry unit directly into Paris. And as you can see, yeah, it doesn't work. I mean, I'm sure many of you in the comments will be saying, Jesus Christ, Paradox, nuclear weapons are underpowered. And you know what? Paradox is so perfect, I'm sure it wasn't an oversight on their end to make it so that you can basically survive 40 nuclear blasts to the same location and just not die. Yeah, perfect game feature. Perfect gameplay. Why are you not allowing me to have a nuclear world conquest? Like, Japan capitulated to 2, this is France, and they haven't capitulated to 50. We might have not won the war, but by God, we've not been defeated by nuclear weapons. And I want to find out how, so we're going to sacrifice our own men, you know, as the Belgians would do. We're going to get this one singular infantry division here. Let's call him Dave. I'm so sorry, Dave. I am so sorry. In fact, there are 1,000 Daves, so don't feel too bad. Now, we're going to make him stand underneath a nuclear bomb and just want to see what happens to one division, and it drops down to 19% strength. Quite interesting. In fact, it's lost effectively the exact same amount of manpower as it has infantry equipment. That is rather interesting indeed. But what about these two divisions? We have two divisions stacked on top of each other. What occurs when we nuclear blast both of them? Well, this is Dave 1 and this is Dave 2. As you'll notice, one is higher up on the list than the other. So who takes the most damage, or do they take the exact same amount of damage? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to drop a nuclear bomb. I'm so sorry, Daves, and there we go. But would you look at that, one of them lost 80% again, however the other has lost only about, well, not even 40, about 33%. Something very interesting is going on here in the game. Why is it that one division of just one infantry is able to shield another? This calls for more testing. And we're almost into our final form. Now we have 10 divisions of one infantry stacked on top of each other. Let's get the first infantry in the stack and the last infantry in the stack, and let's just pick one of the ones in the middle. You'll do nicely. Perfect. Now remember, all these poor Daves, they were briefed ahead of time that nuclear bomb would be getting dropped on top of them, but let's see what happens to them. Ah, interesting. The one at the top takes about 50% damage, the next one takes slightly less, and the final one takes even less than that. What is going on here? I mean, it doesn't really make sense. I mean, you will notice that the average strength is about 40%. Now we have something slightly different. This is one full division of 9,000 infantry, and I dropped a bomb on it. And it was hit by 30%. Well, sorry, no, it's only got 30% left. It was hit by about 70%. That's quite impressive. Now what happens if we stack our 10 crappy infantry on top of the one good infantry? Does it protect them all? I suppose there's only really one way to find out. And you know what? We may never even find out, because I have a slight sneaking suspicion the nuclear bombs are just shite. And here we go. Perfect. Now we can get our bomb ready. Our units are prepared for this, so we'll drop this bomb. Now we can see we have a bit of a varied organisation going on here. We've got some infantry and, ooh, would you look at that? That is interesting. So our big infantry squad took a hit of 50%, whereas the 1K squad only took a hit of 85%. Yet we look at some of the other 1K squads and some of them were hit by about 90%. What the hell is going on? It would appear that nuclear bombs in Hearts of Iron 4, basically, they just hit randomly. You can plan as much as you like, but this nuclear bomb might shave off 20% of the squad, it might shave off 80%. That's right, nuclear bombs are probably one of the worst weapons in the game for simply how unreliable they are. But hey, maybe I can conquer the world using them. But now the Spiffing Brit is back with a vengeance and a new set of mods. That's right, we're finally going to be able to do that nuclear bomb world conquest that we were looking for. This is of course using the realistic nuclear bomb mod, and whilst it doesn't actually damage any more divisions as it used to, it does kill the population of a zone. Thank God, and look, they actually capitulated because of those original nukes. It's so realistic. I dropped 3 nukes and France capitulated. And look, it's become so irradiated, several regions have just completely gone. But what about the Spanish? Will the Spanish capitulate as fast as the French? Well, actually that's where we discover that the Spanish are a little more resilient than the French. But hey, don't worry, Free France has now become Belgium Prime. That's right, Belgium's back on the map, baby, and it's more powerful than ever. So we're just going to drop loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of bombs. Oh, maybe tea. Maybe we'll drop some tea with the bombs, you know? Science has never really discovered what happens if you strap a cup of tea to a nuclear bomb, and so, I mean, it's up to me to find out. So, we bombed a lot of Spain, and it's actually not capitulated. Where's it? Oh, there it is, there's the Spanish capital. Okay, so we kind of left the war because Spain was deleted? Yeah, Spain no longer exists, but don't worry, Germany exists, and we can nuke Germany to our heart's content, dropping loads and loads of bombs. So yes, whilst in the base game a nuclear world conquest is not possible because, you know, it's Divine 4, and yes, I did just nuke Belgium, we're now France, that's how it works. So yeah, whilst in the base game it's not possible, it is more than possible with this mod. So feel free to go out and download realistic nukes for a more, you know, playable game. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to like the video, feel free to subscribe, do whatever you want, but it's lovely to have you here. I'm very happy to see the channel growing, the community is great fun. If you want to get involved even more, hop on the Discord. Anyway, I've been the Spiffing Brit. Have a splendid afternoon. Good vibes all around.